Welcome back. I'm Charles Lewis, the Austin area realtor who brings you topics and discussions that will help you make better decisions when you buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Today, we're going to talk about one way that you're going to be able to solve the housing affordability problem here in Austin. Now, even though there are more houses listed for sale than there has been in a long time, many buyers have put their plans on hold because the combination of high home prices along with high interest rates have priced them out of the market. One of the more popular solutions to this problem is to keep renting and just hope that things are going to change. But if you're honest with yourself, you'll realize that this is not the ideal solution. No matter what you might think about the future of the economy or the housing market, I guarantee you that whatever you think is expensive today will seem cheap in 10, 20, or 30 years. An alternative to hoping that something changes is to look in areas where home prices are lower than they are in the city of Austin. One area like that, which doesn't get talked about a lot, is San Marcos. And if you stick around for this video, I'm going to tell you all about it. San Marcos is south of Austin along I-35. It's about halfway between Austin and San Antonio. For reference, San Marcos is about the same distance to downtown Austin from the south as Georgetown is from the north. Now, it's interesting to note that in spite of all the talk about needing to increase density in Austin to make housing more affordable, Austin is actually more densely populated than Houston, even though the Houston metro has 3 times as many people. That distance between Georgetown and San Marcos is about the same as from Pearland to the Woodlands in Houston. And if Austin continues to grow anywhere close to the same rate it has over the last 10 years, do you think it's reasonable to assume that all that green area to the south and the east might eventually be developed? One con to living in San Marcos is that if you're commuting to Austin, the primary route in and out is Interstate 35, which is known for its congestion, particularly near the downtown area. The Texas Department of Transportation has started a major upgrade to I-35, and you can see evidence of this at various points along the interstate. This is near the San Marcos exit. Now, this entire I-35 project will be completed in stages because they can't just shut down the entire interstate when they upgrade it. So this means that over the next several years, there will be portions of 35 with lane closures. And if you think about that, if you have an interstate that is already congested and you shut down a couple of lanes, that congestion is going to get worse when those lanes are shut down. The plan, though, is that when the construction is complete, that congestion will be reduced. An alternative to 35 is the 130 toll road, which bypasses all the downtown congestion. You might add a couple of miles to the route, but because the traffic flow is a lot better along 130, your drive time will be less than if you sat in that stop-and-go traffic along I-35. Now, one of the things San Marcos is most known for is being the home to Texas State University. The campus is located within walking distance of the historic downtown area. You'll notice these buildings have been well preserved and that the area is very walkable. Every time I come down here, I can't help but think it's a glimpse of what Austin might have been like 40 to 50 years ago. It's a college town with a hometown feel, but the newer construction is evidence that that Austin sprawl is starting to impact San Marcos. Now, like most towns in Texas, the original homes were built just outside the downtown area. These larger homes date back to the early 1900s. These smaller ones were built in the 30s and 40s, but unlike Austin, San Marcos has not seen the renovation and transformation of these older neighborhoods, at least not yet. Now, if you're looking for new houses, they're about 10 minutes north of downtown. Get on 35 and head north towards Austin. You're only going to go about 5 miles down the interstate. You'll be looking for exit 210. As soon as you take that exit and get off 35, take the first right. That's Opportunity Boulevard. There's a lot of construction in this area, so be careful of those trucks. Follow the signs to Sky Meadows Circle, then take the right into the Whisper residential community. Just inside that main entrance is the Welcome Center. There are 2 builders in this community. Those are the Lennar model homes on the right. That's the main entrance, and to the left are the model homes for D.R. Horton. Each of these builders offer a variety of floor plans to choose from, with the smallest one starting around 1,400 square feet, all the way up to about 3,000. The houses look very similar to the ones these same builders offer in other communities across Metro. But here, prices start in the upper $200,000 range. Those prices are 30 to 40% lower than what it would cost to buy a comparable house in other areas of the Austin Metro. This Whisper residential community is part of a much larger multi-use development. Most of the industrial and warehouse construction will be located along the I-35 service road. The first homes here were completed in 2020, and there is a lot of land still available. This view is from the backside, and you can see that the roads are already complete. All those home sites will eventually have houses on them. Because these homes are so new, there aren't a lot of resale options in this community. So if you're interested in looking at resale homes, one option is the Blanco Vista community just a few miles down the road. Go north on the I-35 service road to the first traffic light. That street is called Yarrington. Turn left and stay on Yarrington. You're going to come to a very sharp left turn, and immediately after you make that turn, you'll enter the Blanco Vista community. The first phase of this community was built in 2008. There are several builders here, so you're going to see a wide range of sizes and designs. There is still new construction going on in Blanco Vista, but since this community is much more established than Whisper, there will often be several resale listings you might consider. Price points are another thing though. Some of the smaller homes here will be priced comparable to the ones in Whisper, but these larger houses are going to be well above the $300,000 price range. Of course, not everyone is looking for a $300,000 house, and this community certainly is evidence that not every house in San Marcos is a starter home. Another thing is the cost to buy a house in San Marcos, whether it's a 1,500 square foot or 5,000, will be less expensive than our comparable house in other parts of the Austin metro. In other words, no matter what your budget might be, the same amount of money is going to get you a bigger house in San Marcos. Now, another thing about home prices in San Marcos, which will be important to anyone who might be interested in buying rental homes, is that even though the cost of the houses are lower than other parts of the Austin metro, the rents are not lower by the same percentage. Very rough numbers. If the cost to buy the house is 40% lower, but the rents are only 20% lower, that means you would see a better return on your investment. And this also means you would need to put less cash into the deal to get to positive cash flow. Now, before we wrap up, there is one other thing you need to know about San Marcos, and that is the mermaids. Even though it's 160 miles from the Gulf of Mexico, San Marcos is known as the mermaid capital of Texas. Why? Well, all around the downtown area, there are these 7-foot-tall statues of mermaids. Each one was painted by different artists, and they are designed to reflect a different aspect about the history and heritage of San Marcos. The city's relationship with mermaids can be traced back to an amusement park nearby that was called Aquarina Springs. Now, this is the same name as the freshwater springs near San Marcos, which form the San Marcos River. The Aquarina Springs Amusement Park had a show which featured underwater aquamaid performances. The performers dressed like mermaids and used breathing tubes to perform their underwater show. So, if you don't like the hometown feel of San Marcos, if you're not sure about living in a college town, or if you don't like the idea of home prices 40% lower than the city of Austin, maybe you will like the idea of living in a town with a mermaid heritage. You know, I get emails, texts, and phone calls almost every day from people who are thinking about buying or selling real estate here in the Austin area, and I'd love to help you out too. If you like this video, you should check out this other one that I did. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. All of my contact information is in the video description, so don't be shy. Let's make your real estate dreams come true.